Bobbleheads.
Welcome, everyone. This is I'm Right.
I'm right.
And I'm Jill Cox Cordova.
I'm Anthony Cordova.
Hey.
Hey. Seems like we've done this before.
A few times.
Yes, well, which is cool. Yeah, we have done it.
A few times over years. Done this for years.
Got a little bit. Yeah. It's like deja vu.
Yes. Well, shall we welcome our audience members?
Do we have an audience today?
We have two people in our audience at the moment live.
Cool. Who are they?
We have Angela 2023.
Hi, Angela.
Hi, Angela.
How are you?
And we have Colleen.
Colleen. Hello, Colleen.
Hi, Colleen.
Hello. It's so good to see you.
Yes.
It's great to see you here.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, if this is your first time of coming to this show, this is where we strive to have comical conversations about relationships. It's not always funny.
We strive to do that.
We don't always succeed, honey. We do not always succeed. No, we do not.
I think I succeed, even if I'm laughing at myself.
You do laugh at yourself a lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
And more of us need to do that more often.
Laugh at ourselves?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Don't take
I
everything
probably laugh at myself more than people laugh at me.
Too seriously, yeah.
I think I do.
Probably. Probably. It's very rare that people laugh at you. They might
at
laugh
me,
with
personally?
you. They might laugh with you, but not
people laugh at
you.
Me.
Now, people laugh at me all the time because who knows what I'll do to screw things up? Who knows?
Well, you don't go out of your way to screw things up. But
no, it's just
there's
who
no
I
telling
am.
What you will say or do. That is definitely true. There.
It's just who I am. That's what I do.
I don't know what that accent is, but okay.
Darling, that's what I do.
Colleen says hi to both of us. Hey, Colleen.
Hi, Colleen.
Hope you're doing well today. Okay, so today's what we get right into our episode because this is a half-hour show. So if you want to say something, do it fast.
Jill says it's a half hour tonight.
It is.
We will
and
see.
I've even told.
Hey, hello there, really, Charlie. Good to see you.
I have even told Tony that if at the bottom of the hour, if he's not wrapping it up, I am out.
Jill says
gone, missing from the set.
Jill says it's a 30-minute show.
It is a 30-minute show.
I'm not sure because we might be having an incredible conversation with our audience at the time. And if that is the way it is, we need to go past 30 minutes. Because there might be.
I will not. Leave them wanting more. I was a TV news producer. I know how to get out on time regardless of what's happening in the show.
But our show is typically an hour.
Because you made it that way.
All of a sudden, you want to switch up.
No.
Switch it up.
No, for over a year and a half now, I've been wanting to get back to the way it was, where we had a hard out.
Well, that was
hard out.
That was in our regular podcast where it was pre-recorded. So it was easy to make it.
It's still the same thing. This is being recorded. It's still the same thing. We can still do it. We are fully capable of making this an hour-long show. If we were on TV, they would make you get out, or else that you would just be like, and then you're gone because they went to the next programming item, and I don't know why you're making that face. But let's get into our topic. We're spending too much time arguing about
We're not on a network. We're not on a network.
We are on the
live.
Cordova network.
We don't have commercials. We don't have commercials, and no one else is pulling our strings. So if we happen to have just like this amazing conversation going on, well,
why can't you just get out?
We'll see what happens.
Time?
It's up to the audience.
It is not up to you do not give control of your show to the audience.
It's up
you
to
do
the
not
audience.
do that. Mm-mm.
If they
I will not stand for
valuable input.
I do believe our audience is
valuable, and I cherish our audience.
I cherish our audience too, but you can train an audience to know that if they have something...
Yes. We need to train our audience.
We need to train the audience to know what time our show is, what time it ends, because if they want to say something, they'll do it ahead of time.
Well,
I know you don't like the word train.
Jill, we have...
And hi, Nadine. And Charlie says 30 minutes is just a tease.
That's just a tease.
You know, I'm right, Charlie. You know, I'm right.
Hey, look here. Look, as most of you know, we have 4 distinctly different shows.
So on your shows, Fireside. You can go over. But when I'm involved on air, I'm out. Your talent will leave. It's at the half-hour mark. I'm out.
The talent. Anyway, so yeah. Now you have a point. Now in my show, the other show, the Soul Reader show. Yes, I often do go long.
Yes, often, we all know this.
Often, and we're not talking 30 minutes. We're talking over an hour.
One time he went over an hour long.
Yeah, one time it was almost 2 hours, but it was serious business, that people needed.
It was serious. So that's why I said on your shows you can do that, because we want people to feel better. And if you're in the middle of helping them, of course, you should continue to help. Yeah. That's what you should do. Yeah. But that is not this show.
Oh, this show provides valuable input. Valuable.
Why don't we get to the topic?
Devalue us?
We need to get to the topic that we can get out.
Look, most of the time, even though the show is called I'm Right.
I'm right.
And she thinks she's right.
I know I'm right.
This is one of those times where we actually disagree, at least tonight.
Why are you changing the topic? Let's get to the topic so that we can get out of the show.
Tonight, I'm right. So we'll see what happens.
You're not.
We'll see what happens.
You're not.
We'll see what happens.
Tonight's episode is called Therapy or Bust. And it's based on, I think it was years ago. Time is a lost concept for me these days. But a woman wrote an op-ed, an opinion piece, saying that she would not date anyone who had never been to therapy or refused to go, because she wanted to know that they were willing to work on themselves. So what do you think of that? Therapy or bust?
Well, I think the issue I find is that a woman, I'm not even going to say a woman, I'm going to say a person insists that one of their criteria for dating anyone is that they have been to therapy, or they will go to therapy after they get in a relationship. And it's not up to another person to decide whether a person should go to therapy or not. It's up for that person themselves, if they want to go to therapy, to decide they want to go to therapy.
I'm going to play devil's advocate. Actually, I don't like that phrase. I'm just going to say, I'm just going to talk. So what if the person doesn't realize they actually probably need to go to?
Yes, but it's still up to them to make a decision.
Well, no one can force you to go unless you get
exactly. But for a person to say, my criteria for dating someone, and a person can say that, but they may be doing themselves a disservice if they say, I'm only going to date a person that is in therapy or is willing to go to therapy.
Well, let's look at something.
Not everyone. No, I've been to therapy, but not everyone actually needs to go to therapy.
And I've had therapists to tell me, like they didn't know why I was there, but I wasn't, and they said I was fine, but to me, fine is a 4-letter word. I didn't want to be just fine. I wanted to be great. I wanted to do that. But let's talk about something you often bring up when we're talking about people who who have done something that maybe other people didn't agree with, you have said, well, let's look at the reason why they did what they did, right? So I'm betting that the woman who wrote this piece had dated people who probably needed a therapist and didn't. And she had decided based on those things that next time she dates someone, they at least have to have that. Like that, like there's that reason. But also we don't know the full story, but maybe her picker was off.
Exactly.
And that's usually the case with most people.
And maybe the person that, like for this particular person saying she wouldn't date someone unless they're in therapy. Okay, so let's take that. Let's say she takes someone that is in therapy. She's going to date them because they're in therapy, okay? But maybe they're in therapy because they're not able to have a healthy relationship because of what they are going through. And this is why they're at therapy. Sometimes we don't need to date when we're going through certain things.
So sometimes we need that time for ourselves.
Yes, we're
to let do our own self-care, do our own healing with the help of a professional,
a professional therapist,
and then we can reemerge.
We date. So setting that up for a criteria, is
it wasn't that they have to be in therapy active. It's that they either have seen a therapist or are willing to go.
Yeah, but really, that whole thought process to me is flawed.
Well, but what about the churches that say if you get married at this church, you have to see the preacher?
Well, yeah,
3 times.
That's pre-marriage counseling.
Some people see that as therapy.
Actually,
like couples therapy.
No. This is all I can only talk about my experience.
Yes.
In pre-marriage counseling.
Yes, which we did not.
Did not do, but I had done pre-marriage counseling before, and I did not marry. Oh wait, I did.
You totally forgot about a marriage.
So anyway,
that's funny.
Anyway, I went to this pre-marriage counseling at the church that we were attending.
Hang on a second. Colleen is having. She says we keep freezing and she loses connection.
Oh,
is everyone else?
No.
Is anyone else having the same issue? I just want to see if it's across the board.
Yeah, we get a message when the signal goes weak, and I haven't seen those messages. So I don't know if anyone else is having that issue. Usually, it'll say we're having issues with our internet connection on this side.
Okay, Charlie says it's good where he is.
Okay.
Thank you, Charlie.
Okay.
And sorry, Colleen. I hope it gets better, the connection.
Might have a weak signal.
Okay. She says she's okay again now.
Okay, cool. But thank you for giving us a heads up on that.
And speaking of Charlie, he says the suggestion of therapy is a deal buster. That particular person is judgmental. Ooh.
Perhaps.
That is an interesting perspective.
So, but okay, now let's go back to my and thank you for that, Charlie, that input. So let's go back. So I went to pre-marriage counseling with a woman I was engaged to. It created a big fight.
Been there.
And it created a big fight.
Been there.
And it was justified. Okay.
The fight was justified?
The fight was definitely justified. Okay.
I'm not following, but okay, go ahead.
So we went to this pre-marriage counseling at the church we were attending at the time. And the counselor was a female woman. Of course, she's female. She's a woman. You see, I can laugh at myself. That's just like saying canine dog. It was a canine dog. You know. So anyway, okay. So we're in there and we're talking to the counselor, and the counselor is asking these questions, and my fiance was answering, and I was answering, and then the counselor started asking me these personal questions.
The counselor was hitting on you in front of your fiance?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's not right. That is not right. I guess the counselor thought, well, she's not good for you, but I am.
Yes. And well, she was right about my.
But that time you knew.
That time I knew. Yes.
Tony doesn't often know when people are flirting with him.
No, because she was like really obvious, really obvious. And she was saying things like, "Are you sure you two need to be together? And why do you want to get married?" And all of these leading questions. And so, of course, when we left the place, my fiance was furious. With good reason. This time she had good reason. She was right. She was hitting on you. What kind of mess is that? That a marriage counselor, pre-marriage counselor will hit on you. So I don't think the counselor had any types of certification or anything like that. Just they decided that she would be the marriage counselor.
The church?
Yes, probably.
Yes, because Frankie J says he believes
Frankie J, I didn't know you were in the audience.
If you need to get pre-marriage counseling, you need not to get married. But Frankie J, sometimes depending on where you get married, they require that you go.
Yes.
So that's why we were on that part of the topic. But not all therapists are good, as you're saying. When I was married the first time, I thought the marriage was over, but I wanted to give it my all to see if it could be salvaged. So I got my now ex-husband to go to a counselor with me, and lo and behold, to the questions. So some people can, to the questions. So some people can, to go back to the woman who wanted to make sure she wouldn't date anyone that hadn't been to therapy or would never go. Some people were like, okay, I'll go to therapy and then say all the right things, but there's still something quite wrong.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
They could play the part. They could be deceptive still, know, and you're not any further along. Than you were if they had never gone.
Yeah. So I think a person that makes that type of statement is doing themselves a disservice, because it sets you up. Like you said, the person might say, "Yeah, okay, well, I can deceive a therapist."
Yep. And did.
Right. So you think this person is going to therapy and doing the right things, and you think you have this great person, but you end up with someone that's just deceptive that knows, okay, if this is what I have to do to get this person, okay, yeah, I'll do that.
Right.
I'll do that.
Right.
But here's the key. I do believe in therapy. And this is what a person really needs to do if, they believe in therapy, and therapy for others also. If you are dating a person or you think hurt you, and for you to believe that I am part of the Illuminati and I'm out to get you, maybe you need some therapy because I am not a part of the Illuminati. I'm not a part of a secret organization. I love you. I care about you. But if that person does not want to go to therapy, then you have to say to yourself, oh no, then this is a person I don't need to be with. So I agree with that. So if you know for sure the person is exhibiting things to you that would make you think they need therapy, if they're not willing to do that, yeah, by all means, break off the relationship.
Well, that's the thing, and that's the bottom line for me. We can only control ourselves. Even if someone goes to therapy, you can't control them or what they're going to do, their behavior, or what they're going to do or say. You can't, obviously. So if I believe in, I too believe in therapy, but I believe in getting myself right.
Yeah.
Because I can control what I say and do.
That is true.
And during the times where I felt things were out of control or I didn't understand my trauma or things like that, I got help for it. But I didn't tell you at that time, you have to go too. Go too. I did not say that to you. And what I needed to get to the root of.
Yeah.
So bottom line for me is, maybe just get the therapy for yourself, and therefore have to. I just said you need help.
Some
have to. I just said you need help.
You need some help. So I was suffering from depression, and I was in denial about depression, that I was depressed, and eventually I did go, and I did many other things that were proactive. To handle the depression. So that's what I did. So yes, therapy can be good. Yes, it can. Yes, it can.
Yes, it can. Because you and I have both gone to therapy separately, not for our own things that we wanted to understand and approach. And I think that made us better, because we could bring back those tools that we gained and knew about ourselves, and make make us better, even better.
Yeah.
And we supported that. And my mom even drove me to all my therapy sessions. She made sure I got therapy. She drove me to all of them.
All right.
Made sure I got it.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's good.
Yep.
But yeah, therapy can be good if you have a good therapist, and if you keep an open mind when you go. If you grew up in that type of home from when you were a child, chances are you're kind of all screwed up. So get some therapy.
Don't tell people they're screwed up, sweetheart.
No, but this is true. I'm not saying everyone. I'm saying if you grew up in a dysfunctional home. So if you grew up in an alcoholic home, chances are you're going to need some therapy. If you grew up in a violent home, chances are you're going to need some therapy, especially, growing up as a child in that type of environment. Any kind of abusive household, growing up as a child is going to affect you, period. It is. I'm sorry, but it is.
I'm always, when I think about people, humans,
okay,
and all that we can withstand after we face incredible things or witness incredible things, endure amazing things. I marvel every day at how strong humans are. But what impresses me more, what I marvel about more, is the brain. Because
yes,
whatever you think, that's true. That's your reality. Whatever you think about yourself, that is true because that's what you're exhibiting. You know?
So, according to Jill, show's over.
It is. We got to say goodbye.
I'm in the middle of
you can finish your thought.
Of a comment. Oh my gosh. Ooh.
Ugh. I'm a producer.
Yeah.
Finish your thought.
So Jill was talking about the mind being an incredible thing and how strong we are as people. So I was talking about, growing up in a dysfunctional household. Now, sometimes we, especially as children, will experience things that are so traumatic that we block it out.
Because our brain allows us to.
It's like a safety.
Our defense.
It's a safety
valve. It's
a
defense mechanism.
So we'll block it out.
That's what happened to me. My doctors were telling me I had trauma, PTSD, and I'm like, from what?
From what? Yeah, exactly. So when we experience trauma as a child and even as an adult, but quite often it's from childhood, and we will block that memory out like it didn't exist, like it never happened. So that's a safety valve. It's something that we couldn't handle as children, so our mind will block it out. Even with the thing.
Yes, I was relieved that
should do it.
With technology comes advancements in healthcare as well. And I was grateful that there's a type of therapy where you can remember the trauma without reliving it. Two very different things.
Oh, yes.
And once I was able to remember it, I could handle it. I faced it. I can handle it now.
And that's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
That's a really big deal. Oh, wow. Okay.
So, as I was saying at the top of the show, most of the time we strive to have comical conversations about relationships, and sometimes we don't succeed.
That is true. That is true. That is true. That is true. That is true.
Is that true?
That is true. That is true. That is true. Yes. Okay, well, Jill, you wanted to get out early.
I do.
So
unless there's one more thing you want to do,
take us out.
Is there anything else you want to say or do?
No, you're the producer of this
show.
Well,
we're already late.
So I'll let you run with it, Miss Producer of this show. Do what you wish. I just follow what the puppet master tells me to do.
And at the beginning of the show, he says no one pulls his strings. Didn't you all hear that? You heard him say that, right?
Obviously, I was not right. Wanted her to say. And I really enjoyed that.
On that note, I think it's time to close out this show. Thank you all for coming tonight, listening to us just rant, I guess.
Yes, and we really do love you all.
We do.
We love you all.
We do.
For real.
For real.
Do we know what we're doing next week, Jill? Do we know what our show is next week?
I have no idea. Something.
No idea.
I don't know.
We have a list somewhere.
We do have a list.
Somewhere.
I don't know. But we are back next week.
We will be back next week. Next week, we'll be back. Next week.
Well, thank you all for joining us. I hope you have a good evening or morning, whatever time zone you're in. I hope the rest of the day goes well for you.
Me too.
Thank you, everybody. Cutting out.
I hope we see you next week.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Peace.
You gonna take us out, or do I
need
to take us out? That was it. So
bye, everybody.
I need to take us out.
Taking us out.
Turn on video. like we usually do. And then we're going to try to end the show, and let's see how that works.
Bye.
So, till next week, bye.
Bye. Love you.